Graeme McDowell has been using our product for the last 2 years. You can see some of the rounds he plays on the left here. And if we drill down on his club performance, we can actually see how he typically hits each club. Each one of these dots represents a shot that he's hit on the course. We've got everything from his driver down to his irons. This is extremely useful for amateurs to learn about their own game. It's useful for coaches to track and illustrate students' performance themselves. And it's also useful for you to compare yourself against a pro or any other player in our system. On the left, we can see an activity feed. Every time Graeme signs around, it shows up here. And at the top, we have some aggregate stats, which you can dive into. You can also click on this button here and see some trends over time about these stats. You can see score, fairway accuracy, GIR, etc. Every round that you capture with Game Golf can be viewed using our round view. Here you can see a round that Graeme played at TPC Boston. We have the stats bar at the bottom, so you can see that he shot a 71, shooting a 1 under, and he hit the fairway 93% of the time. In the left panel, we're able to dive into any particular hole and any particular shot. You just need to click. If we want to get rid of these borders, we can get rid of the left panel and also get rid of the top and bottom panels. And now we're fully immersed in the map. All we need to do is drag around and hover over any arc to see the data for that shot. If we bring back in the borders, we can see these social media links at the top right. We can share on Facebook, Twitter, and email. And any of our followers on Twitter who follow this link will see the round exactly the way we just saw it. Whenever you upload a round to Game Golf, it first shows up as an unsigned round. This gives you the chance to review and edit your round to make sure that Game Golf has your round exactly like you played it on the course. As you're editing, you're able to add shots, delete shots, add penalties, or change the club. You can click through each hole on the bottom here, and when you're satisfied that the round looks exactly like what you played, you sign the round. And when you sign it, it's much like you're signing an official tournament scorecard. Once you've signed, the round becomes public, and the stats become part of your official stats. Game Golf is also about being social, allowing you to share golf experiences when you're not on the course. So here we are on Graeme's dashboard. Graeme follows a number of players, and anytime they sign a round, it shows up in his feed. Here you can see Kieran Byrne signed a 9-hole round with a score of 41, and Game Golf detected that he beat a personal best, so it highlights it right here below. A little further down, we can see a round that was signed by John McGuire. In this case, Game Golf detected 3 personal records: a lowest score, a highest GIR percentage, and a lowest number of putts. And you can see this got quite a lot of activity, social activity at the bottom. If you're a teaching professional, you may want to follow your students so that every time they sign a round, it shows up in your feed. And if you're a member of a club, you may want to follow other members. You can do that all on your players page. You can search and follow anyone in our system. Game Golf also allows you to compare yourself against anyone that you follow. Here we can see Graeme compared with Lee Westwood, Brian, James, and John. If we use the drawer here at the bottom, we can see all the different statistics that we can compare them on: fairway accuracy, GIR, scrambling, average and longest driving distance, and putts per hole. We can also scope to the last 30, 20, 10, or even just the last round and pick specific courses to scope it down to. This is really useful if you're a member of a club and you want to compare yourself with other members, or if you're a teaching pro and you're trying to illustrate to your students how they can improve by comparing them to other players. Game Golf works on over 33,000 courses around the world. If you want to make sure that Game Golf works on a course near you, you can visit our Find a Course page and just type in the name. So if we're looking for, let's say, Lake Merced, we just type that in here, and we can see the top result is mapped. A couple courses down, you can see a course that we have in our system, but we haven't quite mapped yet. If that's the case, you're always able to request it, fill in the relevant info, and someone in our team should have it mapped within 1 to 2 weeks. We also have an iOS app which you can find in the Apple App Store, so you can take Game Golf with you on the go and share it with your friends. Here we are on the dashboard where you can see a recent round as well as your overall stats. And below we've got the same feed from people that you're following. If you tap through on any story, you can see a quick summary of the round as well as dive in and swipe through shot by shot. Back on the main screen, we've got tabs to go through your own rounds, as well as the same compare functionality that we have on the web. Lastly, if you navigate to anyone's profile, you can see recent rounds that they've played, and also look at the trends in their stats. You can look at score, putts per hole, drive distance, greens in regulation, and scrambling. As you can see, Game Golf is a comprehensive tracking system that will revolutionize the way you analyze and experience your game. Contact your local pro to see how you can get set up on Game Golf.